Am I the asshole? My wife discovered that I keep calendar reminders to ask her about stuff going on in her life. Pretty much what the title says. My wife has always been really good about staying aware of things happening in my life that I care about and periodically checking in with me to see how they're going. You know, basic loving, caring partner stuff. I have found that showing her that same consideration does not always come naturally to me. I would say I am a fairly self-centered person. I wish that weren't the case, but in retrospect a lot of bad behavior on my part was not corrected and even enabled when I was young. By the time I realized this character flaw, I was already well into adulthood, and I have found that old habits die hard. I don't think I'm that bad. Of course, sometimes I do remember that she was having that big meeting at work today, or that her aunt was having a surgery or whatever, and I ask about it over dinner. But more often than I am proud to admit, I get lost in my stuff and forget about hers. So a couple years ago I started setting reminders in my calendar so I wouldn't forget. Needless to say, I did not tell her I was doing this. Until now it's worked really well. Often I don't even need the reminder, just creating it helps the event stick in my active memory. But the other night she saw one of my reminders. She has a potentially painful dental procedure later this week, FYI. We both happened to be looking at something on my phone when it popped up. Needless to say, she was surprised. I had no choice but to explain the whole situation. I wouldn't say she thinks I'm a full-blown asshole. But she definitely found it weird and off-putting that I would need a system like that when she doesn't and nobody else does. I kind of agree with her. It never felt like a deep dark secret, but on the other hand there's obviously a reason I never told her or anyone else I was doing it. Still, taking action to make sure I show consideration and concern for stuff that matters to her has to be better than continuing to forget, right? Am I an asshole? X200B. Nah. I think it's really sweet that you took the steps to help your wife feel valued. I'd sit your wife down and let her know that this has helped you engage with her more and to learn more about how she's feeling. It's not like you've scripted a conversation, you've just helped to ensure that you'll actually have it. Many couples don't. 1. You realized your flaw and took action to fix it. 2. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be doing it. 3. Even if you do remember, it's not always the right time. I remember a lot of things when I'm driving, making dinner, showering or going to bed at night. Those aren't the times to write the email or check on whatever it was. A reminder in the phone prompts you at times when these things can be addressed. So while she might not like it, the fact is you are making an effort. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Some people are just bad with dates and events. And it's always recommended that they try to figure out a reminder system. You did just that. You may feel self-centered, but you actually go out of your way to make notes of stuff, so you can bring it up later. You could just ignore it and laugh it off like many do, that it's just how I am type of stuff. Not the asshole. I wish my husband would do this. Nah. I'm just going on a theory here, but you were probably told that you were self-centered when you were a kid, because you couldn't remember things. With your reminder system, it sounds to me like you're neurodivergent and that someone mislabeled you, in your childhood. A self-centered person wouldn't make those reminders. Not the asshole. Taking the effort to add these occasions to your calendar and set reminders is showing genuine consideration. Just because it's different from how she naturally remembers doesn't mean it's any less valuable. Not the asshole. If more people were as self-aware as you are and would put in the thought and effort to overcome problem areas, the world would be a better place. Nah. My husband put reminders in his calendar for things like bioclismic candy hearts because we don't do Valentine's, but I love those conversation hearts everyone hates. He gets them for me every year. At some point our stupid iCloud account got intertwined and some reminders now pop up on my phone. I never told him because I think it is really sweet that he cares enough to set the reminder. And I want my gross chalky hearts. Not the asshole. I am a mother, I lose track with everything, I have to have reminders and I don't take it as I don't care, it's just I'm forgetful. I think taking the time to do the reminders shows that you care and are attentive. Not the asshole. I have ADHD, and I have to set reminders for literally everything. You can't help it if you struggle to remember these details. You found a workaround because you care about your wife and want to remember. I think that's pretty sweet. Not the asshole. To me this just shows how much you actually do care. Not the asshole at all, and your wife needs to reevaluate her position. Yes, there are people who are naturally better at keeping track of things, events, but that's just it, it comes natural to most of them. Most aren't putting in a ton of effort to do it. You, on the other hand, are putting in a lot of effort because it doesn't come naturally to you. That makes you the top echelon of the can't remember shit population. Your wife needs to talk to some people with spouses who can't keep track of anything, don't care, and don't do anything about it. Maybe then she will appreciate your efforts. Not the asshole. You sound like you've figured out a flaw, and that sounds harsh, I know. I just couldn't come up with a better word and have taken steps to correct it. If you need a reminder to ask about something, it really isn't that different than someone needing multiple reminders to pick up the dry cleaning or knowing that they need multiple alarms so they're on time. It shows you're trying to overcome some selfishness and be a good partner. Not the asshole. It's like on a math test. You got the correct answer a different way than the teacher wanted, so it's wrong or half credit. It's so dumb. While remembering things about your partner is really important, I am going to say not the asshole. You are at least trying to meet her love language and care. As you have always been like this. The fact that you were making the effort, I would think she would appreciate. Nobody else does. Hate to burst her bubble, but lots of neurodiverse people, myself included, have reminders like that. Not saying you're ND, but she needs to understand that not everyone's brain works the same as hers, and if you care enough to find an accommodation workaround that works, she needs to stop with the judgment. It's not a moral failing, she's not a better person than you, BCS, she naturally remembers these things, she doesn't care more, your brains are literally just wired differently. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I think you are being a caring and thoughtful partner. She may be able to remember everything, lots of people don't or can't, and you are actively trying to show up for her. You are 100 awesome. You'd be the if you didn't recognize your flaws and you didn't do anything about it. You're not alone, I do the same. Nta. Not the asshole. You recognized an area where you lacked, and took steps to compensate for said lack. The fact that you take extra time to set up the reminders is proof of how much you love and care for your wife. Not the asshole. You have trouble remembering things, so you have a system in place to make sure you do. That is a good thing. Everybody is different. Some are better at remembering things, some worse. But if she thinks you taking steps to remember stuff for her sake is weird and off-putting, then fuck her. I would be excited as my husband just forgets. Not the asshole. As someone with undiagnosed memory issues, I forget about a lot of really important things. You acknowledge your problem, and are working to be better. I think it's super sweet that you even care enough to set reminders to check in on her and her important affairs, not the cheating kind. That she thinks it's weird and no one else does is sad to say the least, and I'm sorry she feels that way about an active attempt to maintain communication in the relationship. Hopefully this will blow over and she will see it for the sweetness it is. This story has been posted already couple of months ago, hasn't it? Now I wish my self-centered husband would do this. It actually sounds adorable. You care that much about her that you are addressing a character flaw and dealing with it in a healthy way. Have you ever been tested for ADHD? I actually do this when I can too. I add all sorts of friends and family events and apps to my calendar because I easily forget from one moment to the next. As a person with memory issues, I have a ton of reminders set literally everywhere around my house, phone, and diary to remind me that other people exist, so I'm not in a hole who doesn't consider other people. The fact that you take the action of reminding yourself of her and her feelings kinda cancels out the habit of self-centeredness. You are taking action to be better, and that's good. I am pretty sure I saw exactly the same kind of content less than 1 month ago, but the genders were swapped. The fact that you care enough to make sure you don't forget to follow up about something is proof you are not the